playing this game has brought me back around to a core question, maybe the question that launched this entire channel. Evan, you're new to the Final Fantasy fandom, and I want to pose this question to you. What is Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy is the friends that we've made along the way.
Fair answer. You've made a lot of friends because of Final Fantasy at this point.
That's exactly it. I think that is the case, though. It's a sprawling franchise, and I did have a conversation with someone who was explaining the show and what we did, and they had some questions about Final Fantasy. And if you've ever tried to explain the series to someone, it can take some twists and some turns. But I think I was introduced to the Final Fantasy fandom like a seal that was raised in captivity. Have you seen these videos? They get an animal, they rehabilitate it. You know, they're not going to release it into the wild unless it's going to be safe. If it can't survive on its own, they keep it in a zoo. But sometimes they bring it to the beach and they open the little crate door, and the animal, let's say it's a penguin, it waddles out and it stops and it's staring at the majesty of the ocean. And then I like to think behind those beady little eyes, it also starts to feel overwhelmed, a little bit of trepidation as the vastness of its new surroundings happens. And sometimes you'll see that animal slowly turn around and look back at the people who have been feeding it food, keeping it safe. And it's like, you want me to go
out
there? I'd rather stay here with you. And what I found was not an overwhelming ocean, but I found a very welcoming group of fellow penguins who taught me all the fun things about being in the ocean and why, yes, some aspects of these games may be overwhelming. Here's how to have fun with them, and here's how we can interact with them together. And so I would say my introduction to the Final Fantasy fandom has made me really appreciate it in a different light outside of just kind of the gameplay elements. When we get back to that question, what is a Final Fantasy? I think I'll probably toss one question back to you before I give my answer. When was the last time you tried to explain why and how the Final Fantasies are numbered to someone?
Oh, man. So I have to do that once a semester because I teach the class, and they're like, hey, if they're not connected, why are they numbered like that? And it's like, yeah, totally fair. It's more of an anthology. It's not really a linear sort of progression. And, you know, the reason that I asked this question is because Fantasian is a game that is almost like a spiritual successor to Final Fantasy. And it is made by the creator of Final Fantasy, Hironobu Sakaguchi. And so while I'm playing this game, you know, it makes me ask the question, like, am I just playing a Final Fantasy game?